At this point, we have all the details completed related to the skills to get it working and show it properly to our users. And we have the land prepared for our product. So yep, this is the time to show the projects to our visitors, to the people that are interested in you. So yeah, let's go to create a specific component for the project. We are going to show the title, the description, the icon, and once we have that component, we can use it into our welcome view. So let's just start with that. We are going to duplicate our current component for skill, and we are going to call it, of course, project. Once we have that, let's to remove all of these just in case, and we are going to start from scratch, but we are going to preserve this. In fact, we are going to have three different properties: the title, the description, and the color. And the icon is gonna be inside the actual project component, which means it is gonna be in the slot. So once again, we are going to have title, description, and finally the color. Once we have that, so let's start with the actual definition of the structure here. So we are going to have a section, and inside the section we are going to have three different parts. One div, which is going to have the color, basically the slot for our icon with some stars and distributions. Then we are going to have a paragraph with the title and another with the description. So we are going to have a div, then we are going to have a paragraph and another paragraph here. So essentially here we are going to have the description, and we can use it as a variable here because we already defined that. And we are going to do basically the same in the case of our description. In fact, in the case of the title. So we have it here, and now we just need to use the color, and that color is gonna be part of the icon. So in this div, we are going to have inside the slot, remember, we are going to receive the contents of the icon here, basically the SVG that comes directly from our hero icons package. And here we are going to define two different things. First, we are going to have a class, but this is coming from a variable, so we need to use the colon here, and we use the color. It is going to be, for example, remember, going to our customization file, text blue, text green, text purple, etc. And well, this is going to be the color of that actual icon. And then we are going to define the distribution. So we have here that is going to be a background. We are going to use background gray of 100. It is not going to be a pretty dark background. And we are going to have a specific height of 24 and the same for the width. And finally, we are going to use rounded to XL. Perfect. Now, once we have this inside the slot, let's define the distribution of this section. So using again a class, we are going to have something like this. This is going to be flex. Once again, we are going to have flex items. And in fact, this is going to be only items. And remember, that means that we are going to have the elements in the bottom of the actual section in this case. And we're going to have a padding X of 44 and a padding Y of 6. And finally, we are going to define or basically divide those specific components, the paragraphs and the icon itself, using justify between. Now, let's define some specific styles for the paragraph. So we are going to have class here. And in the first case, we are going to have text of 4XL because this is the title. We are going to use font extra bold, a margin X of 10, and then we are going to use flex 1 to keep the distribution flowing. Remember, if you don't remember what it does, just go to documentation and verify, or just play with it and verify the values. And then we are going to have something similar in the case of the description. This is going to be text, but a little smaller, so it is going to be 2XL. We're going to have a margin X of 10, and finally the flex 1 as well. So once we have this, essentially we have our project component defined. We are showing the title, the description, and of course, as I said, the component for the icon. So if we go to welcome, we can use essentially that. So we have a set of properties. It's going to be now projects is an array, or basically a collection of projects. So this is an object, and we need to send that from our route. So let's use projects coming, of course, from our project model. Let's import the definition coming from app models project. You can see this here. And once we have that, well, we need to use that specific components for project. So the same way as we have for skill, we're going to use this for project. And there we have project. Let's duplicate this, and we are using it project. So now we can go to our actual project section, which is here, and there we are going to define our distribution for the project. So in this case, we are going to have directly a div, and the div is going to have the before for the set of projects that we need here. So projects. Essentially, we have a project variable in projects, the variable that we are receiving from our backend, and there we are going to use the project tag. And the project tag is going to have inside the actual icon. For now, we are going to use an example icon, which is Baker icon. Let's close it out. And the project is going to receive different attributes here. We have the title. All of those are computed. So we have the project that title. And we have basically the same for the description and the color. So once we have this, we need to import the definition of Baker icon coming from hero icons. Don't worry, I know all of those are going to be the same because, well, essentially the name of this tag must be dynamic, but we are going to take care of that in the following class. For now, let's use this specific one as an example. So let's go back here. We are going to import the definition of Baker icon coming from our hero icon. So let's go here, import Baker icon from, if you prefer, you can use the keys here, the mustaches, and this is gonna come, as I said, from hero icons /view, and we are going to use the solid distribution of this, so we have solid. Of course, all of this in the documentation, so you can verify that if you prefer. You can even use another icon, but don't worry about that. We are going to make this dynamic and to use the icons that we defined in this specific list, but that's gonna be in the following class. For now, if everything is okay, we should be able to go back here to our project. Let's do refresh, keep it open the console just in case to verify. So it looks like we have a little error saying Baker icon cannot be resolved. So let's be sure that everything is okay. Let's go back. And of course, I just missed to define the component here. So let's do back, refresh, and there it is. We are using, I know, all the ways the same icon that we have here, but as you can see, we are having the different titles, the different descriptions, and of course the different colors for that icons. That means that we successfully created a project component and we are using it successfully, creating different routes into our distribution of projects to show it up. Now, let's see in the following class how can we actually create a dynamic name of the tag, because the name of the tag comes from the name of the icon that we are receiving from the database for the icon name of that specific project. So see you in the following class because that is going to be a pretty interesting feature. See you there.